What's going on YouTube? Hey man, it's Matt with Michigan Boneheads Outdoors, and hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Hey guys, on this week's topic, we're going to be diving into a major thing here, the weekend warrior. What comes to mind when you think of the weekend warrior? Is it just a certain type of style some people hunt, or just a short duration of time that people can actually get it done in the woods? On this week's episode, guys, that's what we're going to be talking about, is actually how to get it done if you are a weekend warrior. So before we get into the Krabby Patty secret formula for the weekend warrior, okay, let me be the first one to tell you guys, hey, Happy New Year. 2025 was one heck of a ride for us here at Michigan Boneheads Outdoors, and we were not able to do it without you guys. So, hey, and we got 2 subscribers right off the bat for 2026. I'll take it. You know what I mean? But like I said, guys, it was because of you we were able to do it. So, all right, guys, let's jump on in to the Krabby Patty secret formula for the weekend warrior. And as you can see, guys, the first topic on the board is find. What I mean by that is if you do not have a lot of time to actually walk into the woods and to scout, I highly suggest you start getting familiar with Google Earth. Okay, Google Earth has helped us out tremendously, and like I said, has shaved time in half on finding different trails, finding different hidden pockets, finding transition lines, finding how old that clear cut is, finding creek crossings, whatever it may be. If whatever you're looking for a hunting spot, Google Earth can help you find it. There's one thing on Google Earth, and I think it's like historical mapping or whatever, to where you can actually go back on some spots literally until like the 80s, like at like 85, 86, and you're actually able to see throughout the years, guys, on how these deer use a specific spot that what you're looking at. And that's an awesome feature right there. I mean, that helped us out tremendously. That even kind of helped us out with Bono a little bit, not gonna lie. And it is, like I said, it has shaved time off tremendously to get on bucks. Okay, and definitely start getting used to Google Earth. What we do, guys, is that we actually pin stuff on Google Earth, and we will, you're able to measure on Google Earth how far, this potential bedding area is to, maybe a tree that you are looking at, on e-scouting. You're able to see how many yards, how many feet, all this other jazz. So definitely get used to Google Earth, and that will help you start finding some spots and start putting some pins on some spots, like how you kind of do with Onyx. Onyx, if you don't have like some of the premium stuff for their subscription, some of the pictures kind of just look, kind of basic, like a basic aerial. But with Google Earth, you're kind of basically able to do the same thing, but those pictures are a lot more like in depth, and it has a lot more better quality of pictures. So definitely get on Google Earth and definitely start finding some areas that have piqued your interest. Now, guys, now that you have found some spots, now here it comes the next part. And as you can see, is walk. Okay. And the title says it all, guys. A weekend warrior. Take a weekend to walk these spots, guys. Take a weekend to actually dive into these spots, and especially prior to season. Okay. And that's big. Okay. What we do, guys, is we do our scouting in like April, mid-April. Okay. And what's cool with mid-April is everything looks the same when it came to October 1st, the rut, everything like that. And before the snow fell, everything is just kind of like frozen in time, so to say, and you're able to kind of get a game plan for those time frames. Okay. Definitely go in there and scout. What another thing that's cool about April is that you are able to intrude in some of the spots that you normally can't intrude come like August and September, July, August, September. Okay. Really don't want to go in there and make a whole bunch of racket and noise and try to figure some stuff out, because you're just going to be blowing deer out of there and they're going to figure you out quick. So definitely get in there in April, start finding some historical spot sign, start finding the trail, start finding what you are looking for, and guys, just walk it. And then you can kind of start getting a game plan on some of these spots. Another cool thing about walking, guys, is like I said, if you drop a pin and you go and walk it, and let's say it doesn't produce, or it's just really, you're really not feeling the spot or whatever it may be, okay, well then you can scrap that, get rid of it. You're shaving that time off. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go to this spot hoping that there are bucks and stuff that are going to be in there and it doesn't pan out. That's the reason why you need to walk it. Okay, you need to figure that out first. Also too, guys, walking, then you're going to figure out if it's going to be a morning or evening spot. you know Definitely start getting a game plan together, start getting your entry and exit routes in, start finding the historical sign, start finding the trail, start finding all these hidden pockets, walk into those bedding areas, and start getting a game plan together prior to season. So that's really, really the reason why it is important to take a weekend and to walk it. And now, guys, here comes the third part, which is intel. To be honest with you guys, the fourth one is setups. So intel and setups kind of correlate with one another. Okay, once you start getting some intel on some nice deer, obviously you want to set up on that spot. But do it, like I said, prior to season. Okay, you really want to figure. It's very, very imperative to do that before, like I said, before you go in there and you start clanging, banging tree stands and stuff. You don't want to be doing that in July and August and September, just prior to season. Okay, because like I said, they'll figure you out and they'll just completely avoid you, and they'll figure out another route to not even come by you. But definitely start getting some intel, guys. Try to find some different land features that is like a major, major crossing for deer. We found that you know on Google Earth, and then you walked it. Now definitely put a camera on it. Start seeing what's coming in and out of there, and then blam, start getting a setup on how you're going to actually attack this spot. Um, that would really, really help you guys out. Really shave some time off if you are a weekend warrior. Okay. Because, like I said, guys, what we're trying to do here is stack the most odds in our favor for just the short duration of time that we have to hunt. So definitely, definitely start getting some intel on the deer. Start getting kind of familiar with how they're using any type of land feature, whatever it may be, any type of trails, if they're doing transition lines, if they're crossing a creek, or if they're just really hammering this clear cut or whatever it may be. Drop a camera in there, start getting some intel on what's going on, and you're starting to kind of see what type of bucks are going to be kind of holding on in there, and then set up accordingly to that. I'm a ground hunter. I know there's a lot of people that are saddle hunters. I know there's a lot of people that are tree stand hunters. Um, I would really highly suggest you guys kind of keep your options open. And what I mean by that is don't just be, stuck on one spot. Definitely have a lot of spots ready to go. Be as mobile as you possibly can. Okay. And with the intel that you have, and the setups that you guys have, hopefully that's more odds in your favor to get to see bucks and to get it done. So definitely have a bunch of spots, get as much intel as you can, have as much setups as you possibly can. Because like I said, over here is not working, but over here can be working, and your intel will tell you that. And now you have setups ready to go. So definitely, definitely have some intel and definitely have a lot of setups ready to go. And I just want to dive in on setups, guys, just a little bit more, because that just does not just entail setups for tree stands if you're a saddle hunter or ground hunter, whatever it may be. The setups means is figure out how these deer are actually using it. Okay. Set up according to that. All right. Set up close to these trails. Okay. Set up close to known bedding areas. You know, I know a lot of people that can just look on a map and be like, okay, that's the bedding area. Then they go right in, they set up accordingly to that, and then blam, they shoot megas. It's just crazy to do. Even Dan Infault does it on the Hunting Beast. Awesome, awesome dude, by the way. Learn a crap ton of stuff from him. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. But definitely have these setups ready to go. What we do, guys, is we have setups prior to season, and then we leave them alone. What we did in April, we start mock scrapes in April. We are now partnered with the Scrape Doctor, phenomenal track record of putting some mega giants on the ground. And that's what he does too. He starts some stuff in April. He starts these mock scrapes to get them patterned to come in and hit this mock scrape and then to go do whatever they want to do. You can start patterning deer. You can start setting up these deer to come to your spot, and then blam, where you at? You're in that tree stand, and there it is. You're ready to go. Or if you are a rifle hunter, get these deer patterned to come up to your spots as well, and then blam, you're shooting them with whatever you're shooting with. 450 Bushmasters, 30-06, 30-30 Winchesters, whatever it is. It's all comes down to the setup. How you set up your spot and how you can manipulate these deer on using the spot are better chances of you getting something on the ground. And like I said, for just a short duration of time, that weekend warrior, that's what we're looking for. Hey, I only have maybe just a couple of days. I'm going to try to stack these odds in my favor, and hopefully I can get something on the ground. So definitely have a lot of setups ready to go. Now here comes the last part of the weekend warrior algebra problem. Okay, the Krabby Patty formula for the weekend warrior. Okay, it was that we did everything right, guys. We found it, we walked it, we have intel on it, and we set up on it. Okay, we did this. Now it's time for the kill. Okay, if we did all this stuff right, guys, we have solved for X, which is the bucks, or which is the buck that you are going for. Okay, once we solve for X, guess what? Now we go into the kill for that particular buck. And guess what? What does that mean? You just filled your tag. All this stuff, guys, can help you out tremendously to solve for X, which is the buck, kill that buck, and then fill your tag. Okay. Awesome formula. I do this, guys, all the time in every single spot that I do, and I've had tremendous success doing this. Like I said, I'm like you guys. I only have 2.5 weeks to get it done. Some people have a little bit of shorter windows than I do. But like I said, guys, if you follow this and you just have a little bit of time, a little like a weekend here and there to find it, to walk it, to get some intel on it, then to set up on it, you're going to have a tag filled. And I guarantee you that. And I already know, guys, that this question is going to pop on up, but I'm just going to try to beat you to the punch before somebody in the comments is going to say something. Okay. All right, Matt, what do I do if I do not have time to do everything that what you just said? What do I do if I do not have time to find it, to walk it, to get intel on it, all that jazz that we just talked about? And honestly, guys, if I was you and if I was in your shoes, I would do kind of like the old style run and gun method. All right. I would be in that truck. I would be in that side by side. I'd be on that four wheeler, and I would be covering as much ground as I possibly can. I would see if I can cut tracks crossing the road. I would check fresh clear cuts. I know the DNR puts food plots in. I would check that. I would check pine thickets. And anywhere, guys, anywhere that I can possibly get there quick, that's where I would be checking. I would check like oak ridges. There's a lot of oak ridges that are kind of close to the road. Definitely check on up there with them. I would just, like I said, cover as much ground as I possibly can. If I see 20, 30 tracks cutting the road, it's like I told you guys on my last video on how to hunt the late season. That's where I would be hunting. That's where I would be putting sits in, is because obviously these tracks are here for a reason. Something is going on here. So I want to hunt right here. Okay. That's what I would do. I would do the kind of the run and gun method. And like I said, if it ain't working right here, man, I'm burning to somewhere else. Okay. And just covering the amount of ground as I possibly can. So definitely use that. And there you go, guys. The weekend warrior algebra formula that can help you get it done if you are a weekend warrior. And if you can, guys, please subscribe to the channel. We're really growing here, and we really can't do it without you. We have just surpassed our 100 subs. We are now at 102, but we want to keep on climbing. 2026 is going to be one heck of a ride, and we really want you to come and join us. So if you can, guys, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And remember, guys, always keep bringing traditions back home. Later, guys.